Welcome. I'm Jim Tolles. Today I want to talk to you about 6 things that truly matter. And I want to talk to you about why the spiritual path is critical to understanding those things and to engaging with them. You may already notice that I'm not putting spirituality in that list. What are those things? Let's talk. As a quick aside, I've been blogging since 2010 at spiritualawakeningprocess.com. Please take a visit if you haven't. In the description of this video, you can sign up to my free newsletter, which is really the best way to stay in touch. If this video is helpful, please share it with friends. The spiritual path, it helps us to accept reality. One of the most fundamental aspects to the path towards realizing freedom from our attachments, is to see our resistance, to unlearn old patterns, to discover levels of ignorance, and to learn. Surrender is not passive. It simply gives us the space to see ourselves, and then we can make decisions. And the more we surrender, the more we see reality. And what is a major reality that we live within? We live in a body. We live in a body, and we are governed by the rules of a body. If we accept those rules, we can thrive. If we reject those rules, we degrade our experiences, meaning we don't enjoy being in our bodies as much. And the current social context we live in encourages us to degrade the experience of our bodies. Ironically, this is masked as a form of comfort and convenience with all kinds of pleasures and distractions. In small amounts, pleasures like sugar, let's say, are really not that big of a deal. In larger amounts, they're a problem. Sugar, for example, depending on who you ask, the average adult is eating between 60 pounds and 100 pounds. The studies have been all over the place that I've seen through the years. But refined sugar is not necessary to our diet, and actually it causes a great deal of problems. An AARP study in the mid-2010s, teens, linked it to heart attacks. Heart disease is the #1 killer. It's been the #1 killer. All through COVID, it's been the #1 killer. When we surrender, we see that we don't need this much sugar, and so you can see where this is going. That we're going to talk about some fundamental aspects of the body, which currently people don't want to accept. Because unfortunately, society has also made some things more difficult. Some things like walking and being active, as sedentary lifestyle has taken over. Let's start with the first most important thing. It's the air and how you breathe. We just got really basic. There's nothing ethereal about where we're going today. And this is actually the necessary part of the path towards freedom, is letting go of magical thinking. And so many spiritual traditions use breath work as a foundation. Why does it work? It's because the body understands it. The body understands breath. This is why I constantly am recommending this book, Breath by James Nestor. I don't get anything for mentioning it. I don't get an affiliate link. It's just really good. And you have things in there that you can apply today, like nasal breathing. The nose is a very complicated and amazing piece of machinery that filters our air. The mouth does not do this. That book can tell you more. Breathing and the air that we breathe, the quality of the air we breathe, matters a great deal to how we feel. And any of you who've done anything with breathwork, please leave a comment if you have. I'm sure you've had some interesting experiences just by changing how you breathe. It's number 2, water. Drinking water and the quality of that water matter. It's number 3, we get into nutrition, and nutrition is very, very confused. And really, nutrition and full range of motion activity and rest, they're all in competition for number 3. So the list doesn't really make such a hierarchy as it does with the first one, which is breathing, because you cannot go very long without breathing, and you can't go for very long without water. But we've definitely learned how to eat poorly, and how we eat and what we eat. And we've created very, very convoluted arguments right now because we have a problem of abundance. So what is a healthy way to eat in the modern society when we can't really go back to the hunter-gatherer lifestyle that we were evolved to do? This is an ongoing argument. And there's a lot of different modalities that have tried to make themselves spiritual ways of eating, but let's strip that away. Your body needs nutrition. It needs good nutrition. It doesn't need an ideology about what should go in your body. It needs nutrition. There's a big difference. This is why this path towards freedom is probably really critical on the point of food. And substances in general. Any substance you put in your body has to deal with. Any substance you put in your body has to deal with. It's going to have to filter it and get rid of toxins in it and whatever else it needs to do. And if it doesn't have nutritional value, you should really think twice about what you're putting in. When we get into activity, notice I originally said full range of motion activity. Modern day exercise is very much stuck in certain planes of activity, using some muscles more than others, some things being overworked, some things being underworked. Full range of motion means we need to move in multiple planes of motion because we live in a use it or lose it world. If we use it, it gets stronger, it regenerates. If we don't, it breaks down. And I'm not here to tell you exactly all the exercises and things that you're supposed to be doing, because quite frankly, we're still relearning this. And there's a lot of other great literature out there that I encourage you to find. And as we're going, I want to emphasize that you are going to feel differently when you do this with your body. You'll go through transitional stages, and you'll go through stages where you feel phenomenal. Because the body is starting to be supported by its rules. That's surrender again. Can we do this, or do we make excuses? You see, the spiritual path is going to have to come in a lot right now. This whole letting go of ego, because people have so much ego about how they live. And that's not actually serving you. This is the crazy thing. The ego is supposed to help us survive, but it's actually helping us to make ourselves sicker. This is the urgency. We have to get rid of this mentality. We have to change our lifestyles to be healthy. Otherwise, we'll just get sicker, and we're going to become more dependent upon broken healthcare systems here in the U.S. and around the world. Those healthcare systems that may be working well are going to get taxed more the sicker people are. And then people keep looking for this quick solution thing. Well, this is not reality. If you cut yourself every day and whining about the bandages not being good enough is not responsible. We stop cutting ourselves. We stop hurting ourselves. And number 5, we talk about sleep. And that's really been messed up by noise and light pollution and artificial light. And there's all kinds of literature about that. But it's another place that we want to safeguard. Now let also rest. The meditation, in a lot of regards, is such a critical tool to help us rest. We need rest. We need time to balance our bodies and our hormones. And we need to sleep in certain ways based on our circadian rhythms. Now, finally, the last one isn't so biological, but it feels very close. And that's having healthy community. Notice the word healthy community. And I'm going to have a lot to say in future videos about community. But everything I've seen from anthropologists and other research I've researched, So we were living in communities of 25 to 50 people for our entire lives, people we knew deeply, intimately. And now we're scattering. The remote revolution that's going on is just going to be a river of tears, of loneliness and anxiety and depression. We need community, and we're designed to be touched kindly. And we offer ourselves so many healthy endorphins and hormones and responses, neurotransmitters when we're touched. When we have people around us that care about us, our nervous systems can calm down. These things matter. And the spiritual path helps us to see what matters. The spiritual path is urgent these days, my friends, because people are so divorced from what really matters. They've been deluded and confused, and they delude and confuse themselves. That's the deeper thing. That's our work. I know there's a lot of things you can point at society and systems and all these sort of self-perpetuation machines. I get it. That's a piece of it. But we're going to have to look at ourselves and wake up from all sorts of nonsense that's making ourselves sick. And trust me, my friends, if you make some of these changes that I'm talking about and you stay with them, you are going to feel massively better. Once again, my name is Jim Tolles. I invite you to look at more of these videos. Please share this one and come visit at spiritualawakeningprocess.com and sign up for the newsletter. Your support matters a lot in these times where the noise is getting so loud, and helping me be seen so I can get these messages to other people to help them matters a great deal and will probably matter to some people more than you'll ever know.